The AI automation agency space is worth $22.16 billion. The creative agency space is worth $276 billion. The SaaS space is worth $370 billion. But the consulting space is worth $1.06 trillion. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly why AI consulting is the best opportunity for absolutely everybody, regardless of your current industry experience, regardless of if you have any technical experience, because you do not need any, and why you should be starting this business today, because there is a tidal wave of opportunity behind you, so you can actually make a killing. So in this video, what we're going to be covering is why AI consulting is a huge opportunity, what is an AI consulting firm specifically, why it is the best model for everybody, the three main AI business models compared, and how you can actually go ahead and start your AI consulting firm today. All right. The $1.06 trillion market is consulting, and most people have no idea it's that big. It is 3 times the size of the SaaS space. And just for context, Salesforce, which is the biggest software company, is $35 billion a year it does in revenue. Deloitte is the biggest consulting firm, and that does $80 billion a year in revenue. Then we've got the digital creative agencies, so think about the people who make content, and then the AI automation space, which is what a lot of people think of when it comes to getting involved with the AI space, is only $22.16 billion. It is a tiny sector. And even if we included all of the marketing agencies in here, that's about $750 million in total market cap. So the old world equivalents that for each of these sectors, so in consulting, you got like Bain & Company, McKinsey, Deloitte, and again, for context, they do anywhere from $20 to $80 billion a year in revenue. That is not in what the company is worth. That's not the valuation. That is how much they make per year. We've then got creative agencies, companies like Ogilvy, Publix Group, and McCann. These are the companies that are responsible for branding and marketing some of the biggest companies in the world. Think about Coca-Cola, Disney, and companies like that. Then we've got the newer guard, which is the AI automation agencies, which is Infosys, Accenture, and Morningside. And these are the guys that are actually building the technical implementations for companies to basically try and automate these manual, laborious tasks that staff are currently doing within businesses that basically it wasn't feasible to automate previously with software. Let's have a look at the actual market itself, because management consulting, you can see how static this has been for 5 years. And we can look at the growth of both AI consulting and AI consultant in the last few months alone, and it is absolutely wild. And again, for context, McKinsey, which does $20 billion a year in revenue, is predominantly a management consultant firm. And what this graph is showing, what this Google trend is showing, that AI consulting and AI consultant is already outpacing management consulting, which is a multiple $100 billion per year industry, right? That is how big this opportunity is. The reason this is the best model for absolutely everybody. So if you come from manufacturing, supply chain, distribution, engineering, administration, it makes no difference. You have a moat because you have industry expertise and you don't need technical expertise. That's why it's so powerful, because you are a consultant first and foremost. So when you have industry expertise, you already understand their workflows, the inefficiencies within these businesses, how they function, how the people speak, all the problems that they do struggle with on a day-to-day basis, because you have probably experienced them. This model also requires no technical work at all, because you are a consultant first and foremost. And the best part about this as well is it can be a lifestyle business or it can be a $1 billion business. And that is ultimately down to you and how many clients you actually want. And if you've got a small network, you can just feed that network. You never have to do any outreach, and you can become AI consultants for the businesses already network. If you want to scale this up and do something like McKinsey, Bain, or Deloitte, it is absolutely going to be happening over the next 2 to 3 years. There is going to be multiple $1 billion per year AI consulting firms, and I absolutely guarantee you that, okay? Let's look at the different focuses for each of these operations. So AI consulting businesses are actually focused on identification. So we are diagnosing the issues within the business and then identifying where solutions can be put in place to make them more efficient and therefore make them more money. So we do this with common services like AI audits, AI training and workshops. We then transition into the implementation. So actually saying, hey, these are what we think you should implement, and then actually doing the implementation. But again, you don't have to do that if you're not technical. You can partner with an implementation firm. There's plenty of AI automation agencies out there because that's where a lot of people went. And then on the back of that is maintenance, and this is ensuring those projects go well. Then we've got the AI creative agencies. These are in the market for business or for asset creation, for content creation, for media creation. So think of like branded videos, UGC content, social media ads, social media posts, all that stuff. And then the AI automation agencies are in the business of reduction. So think about autoresponders, voice agencies, enterprise solutions, knowledge-based chatbots. They are creating the technical solutions to solve the bottlenecks that a lot of the time are identified by consultants. Here's an example of just some of this happening in real time. This is an email that I got not that long ago from Rahman, and he was saying, hey, do I offer AI training to executives? And this is actually a company out of Saudi Arabia, a huge billion-dollar company. We've got Elliot here, who was an ex-SEO, and on his first day, messaged one of his old clients and closed a $3,000, £2,000 audit on his first day. You got Alexandra here, who closed $8,500 for 3 months, right? For one of those contracts. Didak here closed a $100K deal with a $7,500 audit, then the implementation, then the maintenance because he's technical. We've got Josh and Bones here who closed an AI workshop for 2K. They then got an AI audit off the back of that, which was 10K. And then the first part of the implementation on the back of that audit was 12K. So as you can see here, these are all the things we spoke about here in real life happening to real people just like you. And none of these people were technical whiz kids out of the gate. So let's run through some of the benefits. So AI consulting, we are selling clarity. If you don't need technical experience, you just need industry experience. So that's like my company, Dunn & Company. Then you've got the AI creative agencies where you are selling the output. So there's no client integration needed because you are selling the creatives, the output, right? So companies like Arcads and Poppy. So Arcads does UGC, social media style content, and Poppy does written style content. And then you've got the AI automation agencies where they are selling the system. So the challenge of this business is the custom integration with every client at scale. So there's custom builds for each client. That is why it is complicated, and you've got to have deep technical experience with that model. So AI consulting, we're offering clarity. We then offer specific implementations for the clarity we provide. So we'll give them a list of solutions and we say, these are the ones you want to implement and these are the results you can expect from implementing them. And then we also give them result certainty. So how do we do that exactly? So 95% of AI projects currently fail. And what I mean by fail is they don't deliver on the result promised to the client. And why is that? So there's 3 main reasons. The first one is there's just massive hype around AI, and the people who just jumped on it super early, the systems weren't developed adequately. And basically there was a ton of hype and there was just a lot of failures because things just weren't there yet. Think about people who were starting with like ChatGPT 1, 2, even 3 or 4. The systems just weren't able to do a lot of the stuff they can now. So like 4.5 and 5 and upwards are amazing. The next case, which is a huge one, is edge case implementation. So this is talking about when people are saying, hey, AI could do this really complicated thing and it requires a lot of systems and a lot of things to talk correctly. And the reality is systems are evolving so quickly, and that's such an edge case scenario that hasn't been done yet. It requires deep technical experience, a full stack development team working on it. And the reality is AI is evolving so quickly and these aren't maintained properly that they fail, right? And that brings me to the third one, which is kind of the biggest one, which is maintenance. So when you are doing any implementations of AI whatsoever, whether they're deeply technical or very simple, you need to maintain them to make sure that they are going to be successful. And you need to have this baked into an agreement. So if you don't do edge case scenarios, right? So you do robust commercial grade AI solutions and you maintain them, you get out of this horrific funnel. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So this is actually what we're going to do for every single client. So a client's going to come to us and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to diagnose their business. And this is through the audit process. So we're going to diagnose their current workflows, their current systems, and have a good understanding of really what they're going through on a day-to-day basis and what needs solving. We are then going to prescribe the solutions that fix the problems that we diagnosed in the first place. After we have prescribed those solutions and implemented them, we are then going to maintain them. So we ensure that the client gets what they actually wanted from the implementations. And then after that, they are going to maintain us anyway as a consultant, because we are going to be the authority as the AI consultant for X industry. So they're going to see you as the hero, right? That you are the person that can consistently keep them up to date with what AI can do for their business. And this is a real role. This is getting a ton of people paid a lot of money, because AI is evolving so quickly that every day new stuff is coming out, new opportunities are coming out where businesses can actually, use them. And because it's evolving so fast and they can use them, they need someone to tell them that this process has evolved and that they can now use it, right? So as the consultant, we're always bridging that gap, right, between the client and AI. That is what we're doing. Let's actually break down how we productize this AI consulting firm and like what it looks like in reality. So we've got traditional consultancies. So think of the millions of consulting practices that are out there. It's usually humans. They're about 20 to 30% margin. They could be higher if they're really small, right? Usually got 2 to 5 clients per account manager, per consultant within that firm. And the bottlenecks are hiring, training, and obviously acquisition. Revenue per employee, 2, 3, 4, maybe 500,000 at a really good one. If it's a solo consultant, it's all 100% profit, but that's not a real business. That's just a very high paying job. We then have AI adapted or AI evolved consultancy. So this is like my last firm, Ramped. This is what we did, where we automated the acquisition engine and a lot of the fulfillment engine. We didn't obviously and don't want to ever automate the calls and the interactions with clients. So it's human plus automation, and the margins can easily be over 50%. Our last one was north of 80% as well with our small firm. 15 to 20 clients per person. Again, very comfortably. We were around 30 to 40. So the scaling bottlenecks is basically duplicating all the workflows, making sure it's all set up, and then acquisition of clients as always. Easily able to get 500K plus per head. Yeah, my last firm were about 900K plus per head, and that was in revenue. And then we've got the productized service. So this is, again, it's another layer deeper of human plus automation. And you do this when you have an industry and vertical focus where you can build a product around it because you are doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we're looking at our margins well north of 80%. You've got almost unlimited scale with the number of clients that you can manage when you've got a really good productized system. Your bottleneck literally is now only just acquiring clients, and you should be well north of $1 million ahead. We are definitely going to be seeing businesses in this sector being 10 million plus per head. All right. That's how big this opportunity is. So let's actually break down the consultancy through a nice little visual here so we're all on the same page. So you're going to have your AI consultancy, and your industry expertise, wherever you come from, is going to give you the ability to do specific identification, because you are going to know what these businesses are like. You've got a good understanding. If you've been in manufacturing for 40 years, you know a lot. You got something to use on that experience with, right? We're then going to increase our execution speed by having AI automated workflows. So that's not only in our business, but also the ones that we put into other businesses. So this is going to give us a lot of leverage. On the back of that, we have better outcomes for all of our clients, and we're avoiding that 95% failure rate through AI maintenance, right? So AI maintenance is key for client retention. Ultimately, it is giving you recurring revenue within your consulting firm. So this gives you a totally unique value prop as an individual. So everyone can have the AI maintenance and the automated workflows, but you as an individual have your industry expertise, which gives you specific identification, and it gives you that moat. This is why AI consulting is for everybody. So this is the totally untapped blue ocean of traditional companies need this. There's no competition, and it's absolutely untapped demand right now. This is the 4-stage AI consulting blueprint that you are going to be going through. So you're going to have an AI audit. This is allowing you to diagnose. You're automating the tasks within your business, right? So that is automating acquisition, automating as much of fulfillment as you can within your business. You are then going to delegate the tasks within your consulting firm that you now can't do. So the common one with consulting is the consultant call. So you're going to do that by hiring consultants. And then you are going to develop products which allow you to basically streamline the automate part because you have an industry focus. This is how you are going to get an absolutely massive AI consulting business if you want it. This is the roadmap to a multiple billion-dollar firm. So here is the 3-tier consulting model. So you have the AI audits, 5 to 50K. It can be much more than that, depending on how big the company is. I've seen audits go over 100K just for the audits. That's like what we do at Dunn & Company. We then have the AI implementation. So that is implementing the things we found during this auditing process. Minimum 5K. 5K is very low. That would be a really simple one. But 500K plus, again, I've seen $1 million plus implementations, and that's like Accenture and Dunn & Company. So we do the implementation too from our auditing process. And then key is the maintenance. So you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 5K per agent that you implement for a company. And then that is again like Brick or Dunn & Company. Now, I want to just tell you a bit of a story about Brick, just to give you an idea of scale. They only focus on traditional companies. They've got 600 clients and they do $20 million a year in revenue by just maintaining AI agents. They have a $400 million valuation at the time of recording. They do $20 million a year from 600 clients, and that is recurring revenue, right? It is madness. This is how great this opportunity is, and no one is talking about it. Here's your flow chart. Do you have industry or technical experience? If you only have industry experience, you can just go ahead and start your AI consultancy now. Have your go-to-market strategy, which I'd highly recommend is your network, but we're going to be covering that in the next slide. If you have both, you are in the money because you can make money on consulting and implementation. And if you only have technical experience, right, you need to partner up with someone that has industry experience. You either need to hire someone that has industry experience and can actually get you into those rooms, or you need to learn that industry. Now, this is obviously going to be the slowest path, but it's also going to be the cheapest, and you're only relying on yourself. Then you're going to target traditional industries. We're not going after any, high-flying AI companies out here. We're going after admin, healthcare, engineering, manufacturing, logistics, supply chain, finance, all of these really boring traditional industries. And that is your go-to-market strategy. So here is your launch plan for your AI consulting firm. So you're going to have a niche, which is traditional, you've got experience in, or you find a partner within it. You then find your channel. I'm always going to say focus on network first, because if you have experience, these are the people that are just going to say yes right off the rip. Then after your network, I would focus on LinkedIn next, then cold email. Then you can do phone if you're happy to cold call. Then you can do YouTube organic, which is great, and paid Meta ads or Facebook ads, which is the most predictable. The offer you are going to be offering all these traditional companies is an AI audit. There's nothing else there. And then your outcome for those companies is you are going to reduce costs within their business and give them ultimately more profit, make them a more profitable and sustainable business. So that is your launch plan. I want you to rock and roll and do it. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like more content like this, check out this video up here.